Hi there, I'm Delcy, also Donna. Anyway, this is not a tutorial. I wanted to do a little video on showing some of the creative process, what it took to create this painting from start to finish. And I'm not a professional photographer. You'll see that the video is not perfect. I also wanted to mention at one point, I make circles using Van Dyke Brown, and then later in the video, refer to them as black circles. I know they're not black circles. Let me just tell you, it's not easy talking and painting at the same time. I give credit to those of you out there that do both on a regular basis. Anyway, the apron that I'm wearing in my video is from Zazzle.com, my little Bitmoji I made. The paintbrushes that I usually use are Master's Touch from Hobby Lobby, and the paints I use are also like Master's Touch, Gamblin, and Bob Ross paints. And yeah, so I hope that you enjoy the video, and of course I hope that you like my painting. So today I am preparing my canvas with liquid white. I don't always use this for every painting, but I'm gonna start anyway an abstract painting today. And I'm just gonna be doing the background, starting the background. And I know I want the colors to be kind of lightened. I could have used liquid clear. Sometimes I use liquid clear, but I just really was feeling like I wanted to use liquid white. So I'm just doing a light background. I have two 1-inch brushes. One is older than the other and is not really soft. One is really soft. So what I'm picturing here is I want to have yellow kind of on a diagonal, and in the middle I want to have a purple, and on the other corners I want to have a yellow. And I already mixed my colors, just kind of show you there my hodgepodge mess. And so I'm going to go ahead and do the light color first. And what I have here is cad yellow with a little bit of Indian yellow in here. So like I said, I just kind of want these on the outside, and you see that liquid white is helping me create a little difference there. So it's a little bit lighter here, and I'm bringing a little bit more of that yellow. Yeah, I like that. And again, dipping my brush in some more of the same color. And I'm just gonna do the same thing here on this other corner. This was one of those ideas for a painting that I had while I was sleeping this week, and I've been eager to do it, but my husband had some surgery this week, and so I've been trying to concentrate on him. And he's actually resting a little bit right now, so I thought, oh, let me start this painting I've been kind of thinking about. All right, so I'm not exactly sure how big I want the purple. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my other brush, and I'm gonna go with the purple and see how I like that color, and then kind of figure out if I'm just gonna blend it into the yellow or do something else. So again, I'm just dipping a little bit of that paint because I'm kind of worried about what color that's gonna turn out to be. Okay, so I wanted a dark purple, and this is looking perfect, really. Not really loving how it's blending on my canvas, but I do like those lines coming through. I'm feeling like I'm gonna want some more, and I'm gonna add a little bit of white. A little bit darker there. Grabbing some more white just to. So I kind of like that. And I'm thinking I'm gonna go back with some of this yellow right here where they kind of go together. I don't really want to blend those colors right now. Ooh, okay, so that's not what I wanted to do. But that's okay. I wasn't gonna blend it quite so much, but that, you know, oil paint, you just kind of keep blending, and it really, that's one of the things I really like about oil paint is it's much easier to blend than acrylic to me. Actually, let's just make sure I got that purple. I really don't want that purple there, so okay. And let's just I don't necessarily want it curved like that, so let's just see. I'm kind of mixed on how I feel about that. You know, I turn the canvas and it's like, I don't know. So, but you see I add a little bit of white. And I'm wiping my brush. And again, this is just the background. So I'm just kind of setting the stage for what I really hope to do when this is dry, which will not be today. Oil paints take. Oh, okay, that came out pretty good. And then I'm going to switch back to my darker color. All right, so now that I have the colors down, I'm going to grab a brush that I have to blend a little bit, and I'm just going to soften the sides. Okay, so this is Echo Tools brush. I have a set that I just got like 2 weeks ago of some blending brushes, and I'm gonna just try this one. This is has a little bit of an edge to it, angle. So what I'm doing, just kind of making sure that those edges are kind of softened. Ooh, I really like that. I really do. Okay, so again, I'm just again, this is just the background, so I'm just kind of playing around with that, just the edge there. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm kind of starting with the lighter color because, you know, the yellow, because I don't want to bring too much of the purple into the yellow. And again, this is the background, and I'm kind of thinking I want to do something with circles and highlighted circles. I love color, so I'm sure I'm going to have some color in there. Quite thought it totally through. It's, you know, I was sleeping and dreaming. I was trying to think, what will the finished product really look like? What is it that I'm really looking to get. I see a hair in there. I think I got that. And now I'm just gonna go through. Can really tell there's a pretty good amount of paint here. It's gonna take a while to dry. That's okay. I'm gonna continue on with some other paintings I have in progress. Let me see, I'm just and I'm gonna take, oh, that's right. And there's always a really good chance I'm going to end up covering a lot of this. Okay, so that is that's all I'm going to do for today. I think it's a pretty good start, and we will see after this dries how we do with the next step. Okay, so my painting is dry that I started the background. So now I'm going to paint some circles. I had done some doodling and I kind of have an idea of what I want to do. I kind of played around with, do I want to make some patterns? You know, do I want to make diagonal lines? You know, what do I want to do? But I really wanted to stay with the circles, but what I'm saying is I was debating, should the circles be in some kind of shape or order? And honestly, what I started to think about was the fact that so much of my life, professionally especially, but also personally, is pretty ordered. You know, there's so much that I have to do and do it in a certain way. As a school psychologist, for instance, all my testing has to be done in a standardized way with standardized directions, standardized procedures. You know, I write my reports a certain way. So I thought, you know, I don't really want to go with something really in a very specific order, but I do have kind of a plan. So what I kind of want to do is I'm going to use some brown paint. I was thinking about black, but I decided to go with brown. Not really sure why off the top of my head, but I thought the brown would go just a better outlined color with these. So I know I want to make one of my larger circles here. And I'm not trying to make a perfect circle. And you see that because my canvas is dry, it looks like that. So I'm just gonna kind of go over it again. I do have a little bit of paint thinner in this, just so that the paint glides a little bit better. I could have used a paint medium. But I decided to go with this because I know I want to do some blending and add some other colors, so I just want to keep my circle outlines pretty clean. I guess I could have used a liquid clear, but I don't really necessarily like working with liquid clear. All right, so there's one circle. I'm actually going to get a little bit more of my paint thinner more ease with that. So let's see. I want to do another fairly large circle. Down there. And it's funny, especially since this is oil, but I have in the last few months started doing more acrylic painting as well. And when I first started painting, you know, I pretty much was just doing like Bob Ross kind of paintings. And I didn't really have to have good drawing skills, which worked out well because I never really considered myself good at drawing. And which is why it never even occurred to me that painting could be something that I would like to do. And, but I did pretty quickly realize, you know, when you're doing like Bob Ross style paintings and you're doing landscapes, so much of it relies on the brush and the paints you're using. And at least with, I guess, maybe the subjects I've been doing with the acrylic, I have found that I needed actual drawing skills. So that's kind of forced me to work on some of my drawing skills. I'm never going to be a really good artist as far as drawing. And that doesn't really bother me because I do enjoy painting, but I don't enjoy drawing. I only draw because sometimes I have to draw for the painting. Okay, so those are probably gonna be my, well, those are gonna be my 3 largest circles. And I'm gonna have more mediums, maybe a couple small, and then I'm gonna have a few that are gonna just be tiny, that aren't really gonna be circles. They're gonna be more like dots. So I'm gonna just stick with this dark brown, Van Dyke brown, for all of my large, medium, and small circles. Just because I think that that's a good base layer, basically. So now I'm gonna do really like a group of 4 over here with a little bit of overlap there. I guess I'm running out of paint here a little bit. And I think I'm just gonna get this down and then go back and tweak the actual colors. Gonna have a smaller one over here. So again, I don't want to do too many circles because I am going to embellish them, but I like that purple and yellow in the background. So I'm going to just kind of fill in those browns, and I'm going to put a couple dots in with another color, and it's probably going to be blue. All right, so today I'm gonna add a little bit of color to some of my circles. And one of my favorite colors is phthalo green, so I'm gonna be using that. And I have mixed some phthalo blue with alizarin red. I'm gonna do some blending so I can soften these colors up a little bit and kind of go from there. So that's kind of where I am at this point. I also decided to add some burnt sienna because that's another color that I really like, and I thought that would go really good with these colors. So I am continuing to work on my inner circle colors, and once I do that, then I will let this layer dry as well, and then, you know, be just adding more layers and making this pretty cool. So this painting is all dry right now. And in the meantime, I did go back. I wasn't totally happy with the black lines the way I did. And anyway, I went back and I was kind of experimenting a little bit about where I wanted to go from here. So you can see I kind of did a little practice sort of thing here and kind of did some white outline and did it orange. Anyway, so have some more ideas, and I'm back today to finish up, or well, not finish up, but to do another layer of this painting. And to be honest, I am not really sure where I'm going with this. One of my kids mentioned it looks kind of like the sky, you know, the stars, and I didn't, or planets. I didn't really want it to look like a galaxy, but I could see, you know, why. I also questioned myself whether or not I really, whether this kind of was looking random enough. You know, I mentioned earlier that I wanted to do something that didn't seem, you know, for lack of a better word, so rigid. So I'm gonna, you know, just kind of do some different things today on this painting and see where the inspiration leads me. And so I am gonna start out by working on this circle here. I want to still keep with the general color scheme. I mean, I don't want to go like too crazy in all different colors. So I'm going to use some yellow and see where this goes. So you see there, just kind of spontaneously, like this is an example of when something kind of cool happens. So kind of, you know, I was playing around with that white and I really like that effect. I like it because it covered the black that the outline that I wasn't really too happy with because it just seemed, you know, so rigid. So I am going to do kind of the same thing on the rest of these circles, and that would complete this layer. So, but I'm going to go back and add some white to this one. Actually, I got to squeeze some more white paint out first. So I'm finished with this layer, and I'm going to let this dry. You'll notice probably as I was painting, even though it was very quick, that once I got into the groove, I kind of, you know, feathered some of the lines and liked the way it came out, and so I just continued doing that. I think the last little thing I'm going to do for today is I notice that I have some yellow runoff here, and I'm just going to clean that up a little bit and try and get that back to that purple color. So that's it for today. All right, so I'm a little disappointed to realize that some of this work that I thought I was recording, I didn't, so I apologize for that. So I'm back. This is all dry. I still want to stay with the circles idea, and today I had an inspiration. I have a bunch of paint, and I have a lid from a jar. And I am just hoping that I can load a good amount of paint on here, and I'm gonna see what happens here. So I'm just gonna do one over here just to see what it looks like. Okay, and I actually want more green. I don't want it so thick. And now I'm just going to take a smaller brush and just continue to do some little circles and designs. So honestly, at this point, I'm just kind of reminding myself that when I started this painting, I really wanted to express myself creatively without getting too caught up in, you know, rigid manner. And yet I don't want to spoil my original painting because I like it. Like I especially like the way this came out. But I also like the way these are, I'm liking this. And it is a little different for me. It'll be interesting to see what other people think. Hopefully I'm not ruining this, right? All right, so what I just did is I have some white that I'm going to use a little bit larger brush, and then I mixed up a purple. I'm going to do some pink with a thinner brush, kind of like these thinner lines, and then I'm going to stop for today and let it dry. So I'm gonna let this dry and see what I think when it's dry, see if I need to do another layer. But crazy as this kind of felt, I do like it. Okay, so I'm really expecting to do my last layer of this painting, and so this is what it looks like so far. I think it's pretty cool. And so what I think it really needs in this last layer is I want to do some bright yellow to really, you know, make that pop. And then I was also thinking about maybe some another layer of purple, but I'm just going to go with the yellow and see how I feel about that. But I'm going to keep with the circle-ish themes, and I mixed up a real pretty bright yellow. So that's you know, basically what I'm going to do. And I see there's a lot of brown here. I don't really like how this kind of just, I don't know. So I'm going to start with that. And I decided to just use this thin little brush to have kind of just little strokes. Well, I'm really hoping that this extra burst of yellow just kind of, you know, completes the picture from that original first layer that started out with that yellow. And I am dipping my brush into some paint thinner, because that just makes this easier to work with. Yep, I really like that. But I do think I am going to mix a colorful purple and do just a little bit more purple, I think. And that should be it. Okay, so I mixed what I think is going to be a good purple. And I have a darker purple too if I want, but I don't really plan on like doing a whole lot of this. And I want to just kind of maybe go over some other lines that are not necessarily the way I want them. And I am using a little bit thicker brush. I'm just really trying to look at this as a whole, like, you know, where might I want to add a little highlight, a little bit more color. All right, I think I'm gonna call that done. I like that. I mean, it kind of looks a little messy, and that's kind of what I was going for, kind of like maybe an organized mess. I like that I can still see that pretty purple in the background and the yellows. I like how that phthalo green kind of pops out in a couple places. And so I'm pretty cool with this. I think this came out really good for, you know, a kind of style I'm not used to doing as far as painting. I do a lot of doodling, just in general, like if I'm in meetings, and it just helps me think and concentrate sometimes. So if I don't have to write, you know, necessarily, then doodling really is a good thing for me. But anyway, I am done with this. The last thing I'm gonna do is just sign it. So thanks for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed this.